My name is Bob Crow. I'm a behavioral therapist, board certified in both clinical and medical hypnosis. In my practice, I work with people wanting to improve certain areas of their lives. Some want to become non-smokers or lose their excess weight and keep it off permanently. Others want to boost sales or sports performance or to become confident and self-assured and to lose their fear of public speaking. Couples come not only wishing to save their marriage, but to make it thrive. This video is entitled, Courting or Courtroom. Unfortunately, more than half the couples that walk down the aisle on their wedding day will also walk into attorneys' offices and courtrooms and argue over child custody, support, alimony, and property. Why and how does this happen? Often it's because they stopped courting each other. They began to take each other for granted. And even though many don't see it, they stopped treating each other with the respect, consideration, and tenderness that they did when they were courting. They began to criticize. They began to condemn. They began to complain. They began to find fault. When they decided to get married, it was because they were attracted to each other. But many make the wedding event itself their top priority instead of each other and their future together after the big day. More effort, energy, and money was put into making sure the wedding gown, the bridesmaids' dresses, the reception, the cake, the flowers, the invitations, and the video recording were just so, instead of the most important component, the how to make the for worse part of for better or worse, better. Unfortunately, the wedding and the wedding day itself often become the high point of their entire married life. I once attended a lavish wedding where the bride and her attendants looked beautiful. The groom, the best man, and the ushers were impeccably dressed. The church, flowers, and everything was well thought out. The ceremony was held in a majestic church, and the reception in the finest hotel ballroom in Atlanta, Georgia. The bride and groom were driven to the reception in a carriage drawn by 6 white horses. However, it was an open carriage, and the ride was ruined by a torrential rainfall. The couple arrived at the hotel looking somewhat like drowned rodents. But that's not the reason that their marriage with a storybook wedding and wedding day failed, and why it ended in divorce within a year and a half. The rain couldn't be helped, but the consideration that they could have shown each other could have been. Like many, many others, they stopped courting each other. In other words, after they said, I do, they didn't. When that happens, when an individual starts taking their spouse for granted, there will be resentment and anger. And it's pretty hard to continue to court each other when you're angry. Many relationships are almost a laboratory in manipulation. Each one working to get their own way because they're convinced that that's the only way that they can be happy. When they were babies and got hungry, they cried and someone fed them. When they soiled their diapers, they cried, then someone picked them up and changed their diapers. They soon found out that if they cried and made a fuss, they always got attention and what they wanted, or at least what they thought they wanted. Then one day when they were just lying in their crib and got bored, they tried crying. And guess what? It worked, and they got their own way. Many learned the lesson so well that they continued making a fuss and showing their displeasure well into adulthood in order to get their own way. Can a marriage that is horribly broken be saved? Most often the answer is yes. But the first thing that must happen is to stop the arguing habit. The next thing is that they must begin showing respect and consideration for their spouse. There are very few people that do not respond well to tenderness and kindness. An argument can never be won by anyone. You can hurt the other person. You can make your point, but you will not and cannot win. And it's an exercise in futility to try to stop quarreling and arguing with promises and resolutions. Resolutions and promises won't work long term. The behavioral changes that must be made in order to heal the relationship can't be made in the conscious mind because the arguing and fighting habits aren't located there. Those habits are located in the cognitive maps of the subconscious mind. The only way to make permanent behavioral change in the cognitive maps is through hypnosis. Hypnosis is the bridge to the subconscious mind. In fact, hypnosis is the only way that we can access our subconscious mind deliberately. I invite you to make an appointment for a complimentary consultation. I'll tell you in advance that I'm not a conventional referee-type therapist. We won't have the he did, she did, and he said this, and she always does that sessions that are common in conventional marriage counseling. I'm a resolution-oriented therapist. We will identify together what is broken, and then each person will make the permanent behavioral changes that are necessary to heal the relationship with the incredible power of the subconscious mind. I'm Bob Crow, and my phone number is shown on the screen.